I know a little bit about fish. Just not
yeah,
compare.
I'm the fish guy. Hey guys, Patrick here. I'm here with Glenn Woolsey. He's the resource officer at the school that I work at. And this video is going to be a bit different because we're going to be taking a look at his home arcade system. But before we do that, because so many of you are subscribed to me because of fish, let's take a look at his 125-gallon aquarium here. Now, this aquarium, there's been a process with it. It used to not have a divider, and then as I've known Glenn, and he has a 55-gallon at work as well, and now I think it is exclusively stocked with things that I've gotten for you.
Pretty much, I think so.
Yeah, and in fact, a lot of these fish, I know that there is Jack Dempsey here, the Placo, one of these parrotfish. I think you got from me.
The smaller one.
Yeah, the smaller one. He was messing with the Oscar. Anyway, this is his hell side, is what he says. And then here's his heaven side, because as he had some of these fish, he wanted to bring them home and view them at home. And so, actually, all these angelfish are ones that I've bred. And those black skirt tetras are ones that I've bred as well. And I think you've had those Placos, right?
The largest one you picked up for me at a show.
Oh, that's right, I did.
But the other ones I had.
Yeah. And so that way he can go and kind of have a more peaceful side, the heaven side over here, and then the aggressive hell side over here, which seems like the most aggressive one right now is that little parrot. He's just having a, well, there, yeah, give him some of his own medicine. Because he keeps messing with that Oscar. But this is his home, 125. Now we're going to follow him to the back, and he's going to take us and give us a tour of this very cool home arcade system. And he just finished it because he got his last machine.
So last year I started this in 2020. Don't remember the actual month. So of course I had to have a sign, and KS5S is also my amateur radio call sign, or ham radio call sign. So that's what I named it. And here's the arcade.
Here it is. Now I'm going to step back, and I'm going to get just a wide view of this home arcade room. You can be in the shot, it's alright. It's your room. How big do you say this room is?
I would say 12 by 10, about.
12 by 10. Now we're going to step in. I'm going to close the door behind us. And even right here, behind the door, we've got...
Okay, let's start right over here.
Yeah.
This is a light switch for the ceiling fan, and it's just a push button thing. For arcade, you got to have it. And
let's all right, go ahead and turn the fan off.
And
oh, the light too, it looks like.
Yeah, the light. Let me see. So there you go. But here's the light and stuff, and of course that adds the nostalgia of the room. Added a replica payphone, and I do have it hooked up to an IP Google telephone number with a little box so I can have home numbers. And of course we have one of her. I don't want to wake her up, but you know, it's very important. I have those throughout the house.
Well, show them how you turn everything off and everything back on.
Okay, if I want everything off in the whole room, I go, Alexa, turn off arcade room.
Okay.
And everything but the light and the projector and the stereo goes off. And there is also a TV that I use for HDMI setting and stuff. So, but this makes it a lot easier to turn all this equipment on. Which, by the way, the wattage is about 340 watts for everything in this room, with the exception of the projector and the stereo. So it's no big deal. So Alexa, turn on arcade room.
Okay.
And slowly but surely all these machines will come to life.
Look at that.
Okay, so let's start with some of the things I've done besides the nostalgia. I wanted an arcade with a lot of nostalgia, so I had to add a few bells and whistles. And of course I have a router back here because my house is long, so I have a mesh network. So this is actually wired into my system, and then of course I give Wi-Fi back here because a lot of these machines needs Wi-Fi plus outside devices as well. So here's the stereo for, and I have 4 speakers in here, and that's for either playing anything to do with my projector, if it's a movie, or if I'm doing on gaming, because I can hook game system in here and play lots of different games through there as well, which I do have a setup for there. Besides that, over here, got some more lighting on the wall. When it's dark, you see it a little bit better. Alexa, turn off arcade light.
Okay.
And so now you can see it a little bit better. And then I have my Pac-Man on the speaker over there. In the bottom on the floor, I have a sub, which gives me a lot of bass whenever I choose to. Pretty much when the wife's not home, that's when I get to use that. When I was a kid, my parents told me to turn it down. Now I have a wife that tells me to turn it down. So we have a couple smaller recliners and for the movies or whatever. Pac-Man Plus. You can see the games on here. A lot of these games has multiple games, so you can play to whatever games that you want, and of course everything's free play because I don't have any coin doors or anything installed in any of these machines, but I can if I want to. But this is just the basic Pac-Man. Of course, there's plenty of other things. This is II Arcade. This is a game I really, really love. Matter of fact, it was a Kickstarter, which originally when I invested $399 for this, I was one of the first 400 to get these, and now they're going for $5.99. And you can download multiple games, and they're all software that's paid for. There's no pirated software on here whatsoever, so you can play whatever games that you want. I have about 15 games right now. Originally it didn't come with any LED lighting. I removed the plexiglass here, drilled a 5-inch hole saw, and then put some LED lighting in there. I removed the speakers, put LED lightings in there, and then put the plexiglass on top of it. And now it looks a lot more cool. Matter of fact, they should have done that when it was new, but they didn't, so I did it. Also on the bottom, I added some more lighting. It's all the same strip, and it lights up the stand. Of course, I have a remote for it if I need it, but generally speaking, I leave that alone.
I think you can. Doesn't it have a black and white flashing?
You can do a lot. You aim that way. Did you hit the right button?
There it is. There's the flashing.
But it has a lot of options and stuff, or just pick a solid color, like anybody else that has these things. And you can turn it brighter or dimmer and all that good stuff.
Anyway, tell us about the TV.
All right, the TV I just have hooked to this has a HDMI port out, and I hooked the TV up to it too, because back in the arcade games days in the 80s when I went to arcades, it was always cool if they had a machine with an extra monitor so people could watch. Especially if you were really good at the game, people would surround you and start watching, but they couldn't see because there's so many people watching you play the game. So they had monitors up higher so you could watch it. So of course that just mirrors the image. Now this is a widescreen. I do set it on widescreen version, but you can set it traditional if you want. I like the widescreen just for viewing purposes, but I use the main screen for play.
And we go to menu, but you can get whatever.
Yeah, you can
whatever games you want.
Yeah, here's some of the games I have right now. And if you're into games back in the day, you might recognize a lot. Some of them you won't recognize, but you can try and play 30 minutes for free. Make a determination if you want to buy a game or not. Jungle Hunt cost me a whopping $2.99 to buy this game. I couldn't purchase it quick enough. It was just a game I really like a lot. But there's hundreds of games you can buy from, etc., etc. So let's move on. I believe this was my first game ever. I believe. And this was a 12-in-1, and of course it has the traditional games list showing below. And you can rotate through whatever you want, but this is all the traditional ones that anyone from my era will know all about this game. Tempest was my all-time on-earth favorite game. Matter of fact, when I was a kid, I wanted to buy a Tempest machine. Of course, I didn't have the $3,000 or $5,000 or whatever they cost back in the day. I modded this machine. A lot of these machines I've modded. This one. It did not have a lighted display, so I modded it to have a lighted display. It did not have a lighted trackball, and so I replaced that with a lighted one. And the spinner was rotten on these. When they produced these first generation, the spinners would go click, 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 and they would not spin. Would not spin. And if I start this, you can see how it spins. It just spins like it should. And so I put a spinner on here, the trackball light, and this. Now, originally, this was the hard marquee for the thing. So when I took this off, I thought, well, I'm going to hang these on the wall or something. Then I had an epiphany. I wonder if it'd fit here. It fits perfectly, like you purchased it.
Yeah.
So this is a game system I would never trade in or get something else. All right, Space Invaders. Space Invaders, you just got to have Space Invaders. You have to have it. It only has 2 games on it: Color Space Invaders and the traditional black and white Space Invaders. But you just got to have it. And this machine actually didn't even cost me that much. I believe it cost me $200, which is really cheap for some of these machines. But it's one of these games as a kid we always played. Now I also buy different chairs.
Yeah, I'm looking at these stools.
And you can buy all sorts of them. I have 3 game stools and another traditional one. Here's my projector right here, and at the moment I'm just having showing some different games and stuff. But it's not actually playing. Or you can watch, of course, movies and etc., etc.
I know, it's like your home theater room a little bit now,
pretty
too.
much, yep. And next, this is my last game that I just purchased. I received it in the mail yesterday. I pre-order a lot of games and wait months and months, and they post, they're delayed and etc., etc.
It's interesting. I've been waiting to video your room, waiting on this very machine before I came and videoed your room. So you just got it yesterday. Now we're doing this video.
Got it yesterday, and I assembled it. It has different games. If you come around here, you can see the games it has on it. But the reason I bought it is because of nostalgia. Pong was the first video game Atari put out years ago. And people loved this game. And it was just so, mind-blowing that you could play and interact with the game. So I had to have this. And since it's a stand-up, let me see. And there's some other games that you can play on it.
Oh, cool.
Now,
which it has Tempest too.
It has Tempest too, but not as good than you play on the other machine.
Right.
Of course, you got to have the open sign, more nostalgia lights up there, and because hey, we're open for business, right? Golden Tea. If you ever, as a kid, went to a game, arcades or even bars with the family to go play pool and pinball, that's where you could go and you could play Golden Tea. And I'm not into sports at all, but with that said, I love this game.
Did you mod this at all?
This one,
or did that come lit already?
This came lit already, so I didn't mod this one at all.
But you did put the speaker up here.
But I did put speakers up here, right?
And to match the speaker up here.
Space Invaders I did mod. The only mod I did with Space Invaders is added the lighted marquee as well.
We didn't talk about the Atari sign.
Oh, that's the actual neon Atari, not LED.
Pretty cool clock over here.
Oh yeah, got to have some neat things in here.
We've got your Pac-Man ghosts that change different colors.
Yep, and it can go by music if you want
nice
to.
and symmetrical.
And with this, you can set this for different settings and stuff. Usually, I like to do it for the traditional one, but it's just something else. Yes, it's not an arcade thing, but it's just
that's a cool.
It's just a neat thing, and that's my favorite setting. You can set it on whatever you want. Actually, this was my first machine. Now that I think about it, this is a 412 games in the system, and I won't go into it, but you can see there's a lot of games, and I printed it up so you can see. Now, out of these 412, I have a little cheat sheet for my favorite games on the side, and they're just all the traditional stuff. Because trying to find them, you have to go through menu after menu to find these things.
Q*bert's on there, my mom's favorite.
Oh yeah, so Q*bert.
Excuse me.
Which number is Q*bert? Are Quicks? No, Q*bert. 370. So we get that going. And of course, if I started playing games, we'd be here all day, so can't really do that.
Which is kind of the purpose. You can spend all day in here playing different games on an arcade.
Yeah.
And it looks like you've got some different coins already set up.
Okay, back in the day, if you wanted to play a game and it was a popular game, you put your
coin down.
You put your coin down, so I'm next in line. So to add to the nostalgia, I put coins on my different machines to add to it, of course. And then on this one is the only machine I have that's not is a full machine. It's just what they call a desk one. Yeah. So I have a refrigerator in here, and you got to have that just because for obvious reasons.
How much was this one?
This one was about $500. Okay. Give or take. Sometimes I forget. So a lot of these machines are close to $500. This one was actually $570, but you know what? It could have been $700, and it would still be sitting here. Just the way it is. Yeah. Now this is right here is Legends Ultimate, and they come with these games on here, plus a few more that they came with. But this is a unique machine. The reason being is because right here they have a USB and you can load your own ROMs, which it has an emulator, and I have multiple thousands upon thousands of games on here that you can load your own ROMs. And I will maybe show you some of the ROMs. Takes a little bit to load, so I might not get into it. But it also has a graphical interface. Q*bert's going to town here, but it can load all the games, and you can kind of look at the pre-look at what the pictures look like and stuff. I haven't modded this yet, with the exception of adding games. So that's just a USB. Okay, and anyhow, but you can play so many games. This loading now, since there's multiple thousands of games on this, it takes a while to load if you don't load the internals. But you just get it going, and in a couple of minutes it's all there, and you can play whatever you want.
And you said this is the one that if you had to go and recommend, if you just needed like one arcade game.
Yes, if you're going to buy a one and done, I would recommend this because it has 2 joysticks, it has 2 spinners, it has a trackball, and it has 6 buttons on each side.
Did you mod these, or were these?
No, this is all factory. I have not modded this machine at all. So it's just a pretty neat machine. Now, with that said, they're coming out with an LCD display aftermarket that you can put. Let me see if I can make this go somewhere else. No, we're going to have to put up with it. The volume's on the back, so I don't want to mess with it.
It's all good.
So here you go, and there's so many games you can go through. You can go through the alphabet with these 2 buttons, and then you can, after you pick the alphabet one that you want, and then you can scroll through and go through different games from there. But there's many.
What site did you buy most of these off of?
This Actually, I purchased at Sam's, and Walmart sells their version. I bought the Sam's version because it had a little bit of extra bells and whistles to it, and so I didn't buy this online. The game ROMs you just buy eBay or wherever. They're out there on the net. You can find them all day long. Exactly. Yeah. They do have the mod that's coming for liquid crystal display, and you can hook it up to this, and when you're playing the game, it shows you that information on the marquee like it's a dedicated machine, like Golden Tee. It's like, oh, it's Golden Tee. Well, if you're playing, whichever game,
it'll just light up.
It'll light up, and it will even show you some video animation.
That's cool.
So it is really neat, and that's something I'm going to purchase as well. They're probably about $400 since it's a beginning new project and stuff.
Keyword use.
He goes to town. I just don't. And most of these you can adjust the volume from the front. This one you can't. You got to do it from the back. So with that said, next machine here. This wasn't my last machine because that was Pong. This was the one before
Next
that. Next to last.
But you've only had this one for what, a month?
Yeah, I've had this for about a month, and this is an electronic pinball. If you're going to buy a regular pinball machine new, they cost $6 to $8 grand without even trying because of so many components.
Right.
With this is electronic, but they have solenoids so you can feel the vibration in them, and of course the top display, etc., etc. So with the solenoids, originally they had the solenoids at the bottom of the machine. So when you hit the flippers, you could feel it flip, but it didn't exactly vibrate very well. So what I did is I took it apart and removed the solenoids, and I actually mounted them on the back side of this wood piece right here. So when you play, since your hands are right here, you can actually feel it and hear it, not just electronic, but the actual a real sound from it. So and I guess I got saved by my trusty labs. Of course, I'll turn the volume up a little bit and just show you. I mean, it electronically supposed to play extremely similar to the physical pinball machines.
Pinball, yeah.
And right now and I had the volume down, but let me see it. Oh, I don't even have the music turned on here. But anyhow, and which is very important. The only mod besides that I did.
Is that the volume?
There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
It's got a little animation there.
Yeah, also, 3D animation. The screen is sunk in about 2.5 inches, so it gives you depth.
Yeah.
And they do some 3D.
And it's got 3 different Marvel pinball games on it.
No, it has 10.
Oh, 10.
I believe it's 10. Let's see. So here we go. There's Marvel. Well, you can read.
Yeah. Civil War, Avengers Force, X-Men, Fantastic Four. So that's all these. Thor, Ghost Rider.
And they also have a Star Wars version, but I wanted Marvel.
Fear itself. So you just pick one of them, and then it's going to have a different...
Yeah, a whole different screen. So you pick it, and you can play 2-player, single player, etc.
Have the animation with the different music. Yeah. And you modded the speakers.
Yeah, well, actually all I did is, it's actually display. The rims of it, because they was black, and you couldn't even hardly see them. So I simply got online and ordered the rims for it, got them in, and find out there was I thought they would come in pairs, but they didn't. But it's cheap. This is my second game I ever bought. I'll turn the volume down a little bit on this one. And this is Rampage, and of course they have other games involved here. You can see what games are involved.
And this is pretty cool, because this was the closet for the room.
This is a closet, and here's the curtain that hangs down, and I just simply drooped it to the shelf up top, because I need to utilize
you can
more room.
Put another speaker in there, maybe, or something.
I need to utilize this room so I could have 2 extra games. So with this, the mod I did with this is I did mod the light as well, because arcades have to have lighted marquees. It's important. And this game also has Defender on it, and for some reason the idiotic layout for the Defender, the the fire button was over here. So I just run a parallel wire over here and made another fire button. So when you can play, you got your direction, your fire, and then your smart bomb. And that's for Defender. So this button and this button is just the same button, but I wanted to be actually play. Defender was unplayable because the way it was set up. And I'm not sure why they set it up this way. A lot of these machines, we like to mod them a little bit to whatever works for us.
Right.
And I believe that is the system.
The phone you have in here.
Oh, yeah. I touched base on this earlier. This is a replica payphone, but it's functional. And I have a Google number, which is free. And I bought this device here for the IP to connect up. And this cost me a $50 bill, and at that point on, I have no expense for home phone. So I have this in here, and then I have a desk dial phone in another room, just for nostalgia purposes. It does work. I have my own number. If people call this, it will also ring my cell phone, so I can pick which one I want to use. But I just really did it for nostalgia, and you can. It does not take money, but you can put money in here. And it makes a pretty little noise. And of course I have a key for this, and your change return here. And if you push this, which is normally your money return, for this model, it's just simply a redial. So, of course, I have my Coca-Cola sign. I've had this sign since I've been a kid, probably 13 or 14, and I forgot I had it, and it was behind a bookcase. And probably about 3 weeks ago, I was looking for something or chasing wires or whatever I was doing, and I saw that, and I immediately thought,
that's
arcade. So,
where'd you get these lights on the ceiling fan?
Now this is eBay, and these actually rotate, as you can tell. And I just wanted, it has to be like a disco.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, a lot of times when I play games back here, I put disco music on, just to get the vibe.
Yeah.
And sometimes, which is crazy, but you got to be a gamer to understand this. Sometimes I just come in here, sit down, and turn the arcade on and chill. And just chill. And this is my, peace and tranquility.
Yeah.
Brings me back to the day of no responsibilities. Even though I didn't have quarters to play it.
Right, you just watch people play.
But you still get to watch people play.
It does take you back.
So,
how big would you say this room is?
I'm thinking about 12 feet by 11. It's actually a smaller bedroom.
Yeah, it is.
But I have it jammed in here. There's actually one game system I would like to purchase, but I have no room for it, so I would have to take something out. And I was in here this morning thinking, what could go? And
you'd have to take something out.
And I could put it into another room because I have another man cave, but it's not an arcade. But it's a lot larger. It's a 16-foot by 16-foot man cave. But I have room, but I need to try to keep things isolated. We use different rooms for different purposes.
What game is this that you would get though? What is
it's a 12-in-1, and it's just recently came out by Arcade 1-Ups. A lot of these machines, that's the company, the Arcade 1-Ups. By the way, let me get into that. This is an Arcade 1-Up. It's a 3/4 size machine. Not quite as big, but that's how they build these things. And actually, at the moment, can't think of the different games on it, but it's a 12-in-1, and it has some different games that I really like. Oh, Mortal Kombat. It has some Mortal Kombat games, and it has other ones too that I was interested in. But I really have to stop, because you know how any hobby, after a while, you run out of room, and then you got to pick and choose what you want.
Yep.
And I just like all these. And my objective here is just to fill the room.
Well, and you just completed it.
And I just completed it. So it's funny, on one of the forums, because we post on forums all the time, arcade forums and stuff, and I showed pictures of this and being built and put together, and then a video, and I said my arcade is complete. And one guy said, laughing out loud, my arcade's been complete 20 times.
Yeah.
So he kind of brought me back down to earth a little bit, and I can understand that. But it's a possibility that I could buy more machines. But if so, I really would have to get rid of some of them, and
get a bigger room somewhere,
or a bigger room.
Switch something up.
But right now, I would have two options: this one, since it's 412 games, I can move because I already have a Pac-Man Plus over here.
Right.
And it has a lot of other games. A lot of the other games are duplicated on here anyhow. On the Legends Ultimate right beside here is duplicated. So I could put it here, but then I would lose my mini fridge. So.
Which is not, I mean, you lose a mini fridge. You have the main fridge out there.
Yeah, it's no biggie. I just put it there. This used to be my shop. Wasn't even plugged in. And before that, it was in my office.
You might be able to fit like some little mini fridge in the corner over there, and then you just open it up. I don't know.
Well, I actually use that for a pedestal. So I'm kind of at a quandary, but I just got to stop right now. And believe it or not, my wife, who is not a gamer, she is not a gamer, just not her thing. There's a game on the II Arcade, which is it's a beach
buggy, right?
Beach
buggy.
And she plays that. It's amazing. Matter of fact, II Arcade contacted me, and because he saw some of the videos I posted, and he asked me to do about a 30-second clip for advertisement. Now this is just internet stuff. It's not like on TV or anything. Right. And so I did one, and I started with the screen up here and showing that, and says, now my wife, who does not play games, does like, and then I showed her played beach buggy.
Playing it pretty badly too. I saw the video.
And I told her, I said, and if you can get my wife to play video games, II Arcade, you have done well. But yeah, this is the one. Now, with that said, this game here, Pong. Well, I'll show you. This is actually a fun game. Get into it, but it's pretty addicting and easy to play. You know, nothing like that. And I'm not going to play much of it because now right now I'm using Nitro because you get bonuses with the question marks, etc., etc. So, you know, you can see, and you can get pretty good at it pretty quick. But the problem is, it's so time important. You hit something one time, you're not going to be where you need to be.
Yeah. No blue shells like in Mario Kart.
Actually, I got first place there anyhow.
Boom.
No, I just got blasted. And there's actually another route.
Anyway.
But there you go. And that's it. Now, this game, the last thing I want to say, and I think I'm pretty much done. I think Neri's going to have to edit this video, that's for sure.
No, we're going the whole thing.
Super Breakout, I'm so excited. I would have bought it for Pong alone. Super Breakout is such a cool game. And by the way, this is a 4-player for Pong. You can have 4-player Pong, 2-player, or 1-player. But Super Breakout, it's just a game I always loved. Don't mean I was any good at it. And of course, the deeper the rows gets into it, the faster the ball goes. And then you release other balls. And see, not even paying attention. But this game, I believe my wife will like. She hasn't seen it yet. I told her, I said, you're going to like another game on here. So I'm going to get her hooked on this. My objective is to get her hooked on a lot of games, but it's baby steps. So.
Any plans to mod this at all?
I don't believe I'm going to have to mod this because these spinners are second or third generator spinners. So they free spin, they don't click. Like I said, the other one over there would go click, 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 and you couldn't free spin. You could turn it, but it was just junk, like an insult to any gamer.
Yeah.
So, but these are actually done well. So, but the only thing I would do if and when aftermarket or the company does it is put a protector on it. A lot of these has protectors. Some of my original games didn't, fiberglass protectors, so I ordered them. This one over here had I ordered one, but I modded it with an extra button. so I had to cut through there. So, and I was afraid it was going to shatter, but I had tape on it on both sides, took a hole saw and crossed my fingers and drilled it, and it worked, so it went right over this hole. So, and these are held on by screws that holds the deck on anyhow. So with that said, I have protectors on all of my devices except the Pong, which they claim you don't need it because of the way it's made, but if and when they make a protector, I will lay my money down. So that's the arcade in a nutshell, I believe.
That's the tour. I am going to have links to some of these, and I'll put that in the description. Guys, if you like this video, do like it, subscribe it. I know it's not the typical fish one, but how cool is this? It's a home arcade. All right. Well, thank you, Glenn, and we will see you guys later. Bye.